Hello, YouTube. Hello, TikTok. Let's talk about trusting the process because I've been having these conversations a lot with my clients. When I go live, it's really inspired by my client conversations, the work, and the concepts that we are doing. And this is all about trusting the process. And obviously, if you are here on my channel and you're watching this and you've been attracted to this video, this isn't a new concept for you about trusting the process. But what I come to learn with my own work, with the work that I've been doing with clients, like I've been working with women for close to a decade now in this current business. It's 5 years. And something that I see time and time again is women get lost in trusting the process of the things they're doing. So everything that I teach, the clients that come and work with me is rooted in both the energetic side and in both the strategy side, business and personal life. I believe that it's duality, right? I believe that you need both ends to be able to create the life that you are desiring, to create the results that you desire in your business, your finances, your relationships, career, your health, whatever it may be. But when you blend these two, and sometimes, one may take over the other and vice versa, but when you do blend these two, the energy and the strategy, you need to come into this trust, the trust of the process of putting it together, and knowing that even in the trusting process that there is still failure, you can still fail. It's not about never failing, because something I always say is failure equals feedback. So it's actually really good when you fail. By the way, side note, this is another live, but it's actually really, really good when you fail because you get the feedback. What worked, what didn't work, what can you refine, etc. However, when you blend these two together and you're creating something massive in your life and you feel it in your soul that you are made for so much more, and you are going to create the biggest business or go for the top promotion or have, millions of dollars in your investments or the nicest car that anyone in your family has ever experienced, we also need to trust the process of blending together the very masculine work and the very feminine work, which is the strategy and the energy. But how do we do that? It means you need to trust yourself. I see women not get the results that they desire, or it takes so long. Like it's this constant battle because they do not trust themselves. And part of the work when I started this is connecting with women. Like my tagline has always been connecting with women to help them reconnect with themselves. The reconnect with themselves part is really all about how can they start trusting themselves again. How are they able to step into this level of self-trust? Because when you trust yourself, you back yourself. When you back yourself, you are unstoppable. You can do anything because no matter what is happening, you have your own back. And although as human beings, we thrive off connection, we thrive off community, it shouldn't be the thing that drives us forward. It shouldn't be the thing that we are looking for to be able to move forward, right? It's nice to get validation. It's nice to get love from family, friends, partner, your boss, other employees. So I'm not denying that whatsoever. It's so nice to be validated. It's so nice to be congratulated. It's so beautiful when someone tells you they are proud of what you're doing. But what's even better and what is going to root you in absolutely trusting the process and the flow of where you are going is being able to trust yourself, wholeheartedly trust yourself, and back everything that you are doing. And when you have the blend of energetics and when you have the blend of strategy and you put those two together, and you cover it in, you wrap it around in self-trust, you truly are unstoppable because you just know, that I'm doing the masculine strategy, logical work, right? Let's say you own a business, an online business, right? And it's like you are showing up, doing your stories, you are working on your messaging, you are working on your marketing, you're working on your copy, you're working on your how you're selling, your sales calls, you are your content. You can objectively look at what you're doing day to day, get to the end of the week and say, I am refining and I'm doing things better. And then we can look at the energetics and it's like, I have changed my routine. I am doing the visualization meditations that I can actually connect to. I am doing the EFT tapping, or I'm going to the breathwork class where I'm starting to actually feel lighter, or I am doing the yoga practice where I feel good about myself, right? It's all of these bits and pieces. This all comes, again, another live that I can go on and that I will do, but this is all about the self-reflection piece to be able to understand how we're building self-trust. But when you're rooted in these two things and you bring it together, it then comes to the easiest way that I explain to all of my clients is self-trust is keeping the small promises to yourself, telling yourself that you're going to do something. I think sometimes we want to build self-trust and it's like we need to look for these like big, I don't know, like it's like this secret answer or this hack or this trick or this tip. And it's like if I know this trick, then I'm going to trust myself. And what I've seen, I've worked with hundreds of women, what I've seen time and time and time again, it's about keeping those small promises to yourself. Something I started this year is every 30 days, I set myself a brand new challenge that it isn't necessarily out of my comfort zone, like expanding my comfort zone, but it's something that is going to push me on the days where I can't be bothered or I'm going to have more willpower. So, for example, last month, I set myself a challenge of doing 30 days of going live on YouTube. And I did every single day. And there were days like on a Sunday, I'm having a chill day and like I couldn't be bothered. But I said, I promised myself this. And I felt so much better once I hit the live button here and I showed up and I spoke about something that was inspired by my clients or a conversation from my partner. I felt so much better. This month, I'm doing 30 days of yoga, whether it's at home or whether it's in the studio, and, a minimum of 10 minutes. Now, some of you, it's like, no, that's not much of a challenge, 10 minutes of yoga. But if you're having a full day like I did yesterday of calls and content and you're in Voxer and you're showing up and you're drained, you get to the end of the day and you still got that promise. And the fact that when you actually keep that promise and you do it, that signals to your nervous system it is safe to keep showing up for herself. It is safe to keep doing the things. It is safe when she says, I feel like on this eye I have a bit of mascara. When she says, she is in me, when she says she's going to do something, we're going to show up for her. We're going to show her resilience. We're going to show her discipline and her focus. And it just teaches you can do it. I made a TikTok recently and even a thread saying like sometimes people are lazy, right? And sometimes people do need to practice more discipline and focus. This is for anyone. I had a bit of pushback over on threads of people who were saying, it was a whole thing, not everyone's lazy. Sometimes I have this and that. It's just about discipline and focus. And and I am talking to my high achieving people. Like that is my target market. So if anyone watches this and they're like about to jump down my throat, I'm talking of my target market, the women that I work with day to day, right? One of my clients, my long-term private clients, has ADHD. And I have seen her practice discipline like there's no tomorrow. I've seen her practice focus like there's no tomorrow. So I've seen all different scales, but that's for another conversation. But what I'm saying is this in this is self-trust requires you to be disciplined, requires you to be focused in what you're doing for yourself, requires self-leadership. I really recently I've been making this discovery of where I believe that self-trust and self-leadership are directly correlated. If you are leading yourself, you trust yourself. If you trust yourself, you're stepping into this leadership role for yourself. And that is one of the most important things. And so being able to trust, if we kind of like loop back to the beginning of this video, trusting the process. When you can objectively look at your life and you can say that you are showing up, that you are refining. I think sometimes people think they showing up just and they've been doing the same thing for like 6 months. Like there's made no change. They're just going through the motions. They're doing the bare minimum. I would say the bare minimum is when we are operating in a good autopilot. So how I explain good autopilot is like nothing's particularly bad and nothing's particularly fantastic, but life is just going. We've made progress, but we're on this hamster wheel. I recently just made a reel about it, like my very last reel, so go and watch it. I speak about my experience in 2018 of literally, maybe I'll share it a little bit now, but I was quite there in 2018 where if you put my life on a piece of paper, it was like I was ticking off boxes of my version of success. And so, the job, the money, the relationships, all of that, like where I lived, et cetera, et cetera. It looks like I was ticking off, but deep inside of me, I was like, okay, I've worked towards this, but what more is there? I know I'm capable of so much more. I know I can create so much more. I know that I am meant for something more magical and to create something more magical that I just don't know what to do. And then I fell into this thing where I was like, oh, if I try something different, maybe I'm going to undo all my progress, right? And that was in 2018. Fast forward to 2019, I quit my job. I moved to Bali. If you can't tell by my accent, I'm Australian. I moved to Bali and I started this current business, right? Because I asked myself two things, two different timelines. What do I want to feel in 12 months' time? And what do I want to feel in 5 years' time? 5 years' time is this year, is 2024 from 2019. And I can strongly sit here and say that I'm so glad that I decided to work on mastering myself as a woman. And that's the whole process of everything I do, is woman mastery. Woman mastery, the combination of those words, is my mastermind. All of the details for that are in the show notes below, but it's for high achieving women to elevate their success and their fulfillment in wealth, relationships, career, or business through subconscious reprogramming, through the Will Mastery framework, which I've done many videos about. I've done many podcasts, so I'm not gatekeeping. I've done many. If you want a free audio training, it should be in the show notes below. Like, I go through the specific steps of the framework. But if not, leave a comment with the word podcast or just tell me you want it and I can send you directly the link. But I go through the process, so I'm not gatekeeping it. But my process of woman mastery and being able to solidify that is the thing that creates the results, is the thing that creates the self-trust. And so back in 2018, I really had to tap into what are the feelings that I'm searching for, but what am I going to start to do? And I was betraying myself. I was doing my trust a disservice because I would have these ideas and these things I wanted to do, but I was like, life's not that bad. Like, I don't want to undo what I've already done. But I'm breaking the trust. I'm breaking all the trust that I have with myself because I'm not showing up for myself. I'm not backing myself. See how it can become like this vicious cycle? So, trusting the process, I deeply, deeply believe it's in direct correlation with being able to trust yourself. And then you can kind of sit, like, even when you have the days where you're kind of like, oh, I don't know, like nothing's happening, it's like stepping into that it is all working for you. But I'm going to leave it there. I'm so freaking hungry. I need to eat. It's lunchtime. I need to eat. I need to chill. I have my mastermind call tonight, which I'm really excited about. But if you want to find out more about that mastermind, show notes below. And you can also send me a DM over on Instagram if you want to chat about if it's the right fit for you, what it's like working with me, or if you want that free audio training. But I appreciate every single one of you. I will see you in tomorrow's live. Bye.